What's up, dudes? Welcome back to Duty's Daggers. Now, one of the best performing videos on my entire channel is one that I did a long time ago, back when I first started the channel, and it was called Best Knives on Amazon for Under $10. And I had something like 5 or 6 knives I found on Amazon. And they were under $10 knives, and I kind of looked at them and reviewed them and showed them off. That video has so many views, it's crazy. So I'm deciding to do it again. This time I'm taking it a little bit more seriously. The last time I bought some joke knives that were obviously really crappy. These I actually tried to pick knives that I thought looked like they could be pretty good. They're all under $10. Some of them are like $5. Some of them are $9 and some change, but they were all under $10. I'll put a link for all of them down below. You can go check them out if you want. Please like the video before we continue. I'll wait for you. Go do it right now, please. All right, thank you. Let's start with the Gerber Paraframe Mini. Now, even if you aren't in the knife world, if you're just like a blue-collar guy or gal, or maybe you just like knives, maybe it's not your hobby, but you carry a knife, you've probably heard of the Gerber Paraframe. It's a very popular knife. And this is a mini. I didn't know they had a mini. Apparently they do. Let's check it out. Now, I will say, if you're seriously looking for a pocket knife, I would not recommend only spending $10 on it. What I would recommend is spend something like $30, so a little more, and get something like this from CJRB. This is the Acacia, and it is a crossbar lock, meaning it's a finger-safe knife. Very good reverse flicking action. FRN handle scales, deep carry pocket clip. AR RPM 9 blade steel, which is a pretty good budget steel. Very thin, slicey blade stock. And it's going to cut really good, and it's going to last you a long time, and it's going to be kind of fun to fidget with. It's just all around a really good knife. So I suggest spending a little bit more than $10 and getting something like this, or something maybe like the Pyrite Light button lock, or the Vosteed Raccoon with the top liner lock. So these are some of the best budget knives that I know of. But today we're talking about knives under $10. Maybe you only have $10 and you need a knife. Let's check this out. This is pretty small. We have a tip down mounted pocket clip, which is odd. That's kind of how knives used to come for some reason, and nowadays we always do tip down. For me, tip up makes more sense. You pull it out of your pocket, you kind of slide your hand up, and you're ready to deploy it, right? This way, you pull it out, you kind of have to flip it around, and you can deploy it. Now this only has a nail nick, so there's no thumb studs or anything, so you just kind of roll it out. Lockup is almost 100%. Usually you like to see the lock bar a little bit further over here, so that over time, as that interface between the lock bar and the tang wears away, it can slowly travel farther and farther over this way. Here, after a little bit of wear, it's going to be over way too far, and it's not going to lock out the knife anymore. That's something typical that you'll see on a lot of budget knives. Not the end of the world, still locked up tight. What's going on with the edge right here? Oh, that was just some like plastic or something. Kind of a wonky edge grind. It's very thick up here at the tip. No sharpening choil, meaning this edge runs right into this plunge grind. We like to see a sharpening choil, kind of like this, where this is cut out in here, so that when you're coming in here with a sharpening stone, sharpening away, it just disappears into nothing. With this, your sharpening stone is going to be coming up here toward the plunge grind, and you're going to start running into this plunge grind. It's going to kind of make a weird spot right there. It's going to start grinding away this plunge grind. It's going to kind of be difficult. Again, that could be considered a nitpick for some. You know, it's interesting. They almost put a little sharpening choil right here. But it's in the wrong spot. Why is it down there? It should be up here. That does not serve any purpose from what I can tell. Oh wait, no. That's where the stop pin goes in. Okay. The stop pin falls right in there. For a second I was like, wait a minute, did they just really mess up the location of the sharpening foil? So it's really lightweight. It is a stainless steel frame. You know, I should say, despite it being a stainless steel frame, it is pretty lightweight. 1.4 ounces. Very light. Let's see if it's sharp. Yeah, it could use some sharpening, but let's see if it'll cut paper. We'll do a paper test on all of these knives. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's actually a little better than I expected. So there you go. If you need a little mini knife that will do its job, it's not going to stay sharp for very long, but it will do what it needs to do for a little while at least. The Gerber Mini Prayer Frame. Check out the next one. I want to look at this really thin one. So this is the Funbro brand EDC pocket knife. It says pocket knife, outdoor use, exquisite gift. Okay. Steel is 7CR13 MOV. Handle material is stainless steel. Closed length 4.7 inches. Open length 8.007. Blade length 3 inches. So this is a flipper. We got a flipper tab here. So let's see if it flips well. Okay, it's a Tonto blade shape. Very long, skinny knife. I don't usually like knives like this. One of the reasons is they're not usually very slicey. Now, for a blade to be slicey, what I mean by slicey is, say you're cutting through some really thick cardboard, and you're pushing through it, you want that blade stock, which is this thickness here, you want that to be thin. Imagine you sharpen an axe, and you're trying to use an axe to push through cardboard. It's just not going to go through easily because it's very thick. Something very thin will pass through easier. Now, another factor besides thickness here is the blade grind and the thickness behind the edge. A blade that's so thin doesn't have very much time to taper down from this thickness down to a nice thin measurement behind the edge. So this is going to be a very, very thick grind, and you can feel it running your fingers along it. Let's see, will it cut paper? Okay, yeah, not too bad. Pretty heavy. This is like solid stainless steel, looks like. 3.5 ounces. Not crazy heavy, but definitely heavier than the Gerber. It is on bearings, it looks like. Okay. It does flip pretty well, actually. Kind of can shake the blade down. Looks like this is kind of a glass breaker / lanyard thing. I don't really like that poking out there. You got a pocket clip, which is tip up, thankfully. Can I even fail this? I don't know if I can fail it. It's actually a pretty good flipper. Yeah, I can't. The lock bar has some jimping on it for grip as you're pushing it over. And that grip, that jimping is a little sharp. Kind of hurts your finger a little bit. And yeah, we got kind of some futuristic kind of looking coloring and stuff going on the handle. Looks kind of cool, I guess. A little cheesy though. There's some blade play there. We are not perfectly centered, but it's not bad. It's not too far off. Yeah, not bad. I mean, it flips reliably. It's kind of smooth. You can shake the blade down. Not too shabby, actually. What's next? Tack Force. What do we got here? Tack Force. Is this going to be a tactical knife? Yep, it surely is. So we got plastic handles, we got a flipper and thumb stud. Another tip down pocket clip. Is this assisted? Yeah. So this is definitely a tactical looking knife. We have a drop point with half serrated, half plain edge. There's a reason you don't see a lot of knife collectors and people that are really into knives. Most of those guys and gals you're not going to see own knives like this. You don't really like to have half serrated, half straight. It's just kind of an inconvenience. People tend to think that it's maybe more useful, but it's really not. Unless you're like sawing wood branches or something like that pretty often. And if you are, just get like a separate wood saw. Um, slicing through cardboard, paper, anything like that, the serrations are not really going to help you at all. Um, so it is an assisted knife, meaning as you begin to put pressure on the flipper tab, there's a spring in there that's going to take over and help it flip open. See, if I let go here, it kind of wants to flip open on its own. This is not an automatic knife, so in places like California where an automatic side opening knife with a blade over 2 inches is illegal, this is not illegal because it's not a button. You're not pushing a button to actuate the spring. You're having to manually push the flipper tab, and then at about this point, the spring takes over and brings it the rest of the way. So it's not illegal. You get the thumb stud or the flipper tab. Now, in a lot of ways, I think an assisted knife is kind of a cop-out. It's almost a way to cheat. With a really good detent, you can get a knife that deploys just as snappy and just as fast as this knife does. For example, one of my favorite flipper knives, this is the Sharp by Design Mini Evo. Same flipper design, flips extremely fast, and because that detent is so nice and crisp, and because the pivot, the way the blade rotates in the handle is so smooth and well made, it snaps out just as fast, and I think feels better. This knife is cheating because it needs a spring to help it do that. Let's see, ergonomics are not bad. You kind of feel the clip digging into your hand a little bit. Definitely got a lot of texture on the handle. Definitely not going to slip out of your hands. Just says stainless, TF 800 stainless. I'm not sure if that's the blade steel or what. Will it cut paper? Yeah. Kinda. And then obviously you're not going to cut paper with the serrations. So there you go. Not awful. It'll do the job. Lastly, we got a Gonzo. Another kind of tactical looking knife. This one has, looks like an aluminum inlay and a seatbelt cutter and a glass breaker. I guess the seatbelt cutter might come in handy, although if you have a knife, you can just pull out your knife and do it. I think the rationale probably is in the heat of the moment, it's probably better to use something like this rather than getting your blade out and trying to frantically cut your seatbelt. You might accidentally stab yourself or somebody else. This is kind of a safer way to do that. Glass breaker, I guess, I don't typically like glass breakers on my knives, but maybe you could. Maybe you will. Same kind of thing as this guy. You got a flipper and a thumb stud. We got a full plain blade this time, thankfully. I think I picked this one because I like the blade shape. I think that's a nice blade shape. I really do. Dropped down a tip. Plain edge. It's actually a hollow grind. Now here we have a sharpening choil that they tried, but it's still not great. It needs to be a little bigger or maybe a little bit further up this way. Ergonomics, yeah, pretty good. This one also is assisted, so we got that spring action going on in here. Flips pretty well. Thumb still works pretty well too. Will it cut paper? Yeah. I'm pretty impressed, man. All these knives cut paper really well. Now, they're not the best edges ever. and they're not going to hold that sharpness for very long, but they did come decently sharp, so that's good. I also like, I mean, this little fuller doesn't really do anything. It looks kind of cool, though. This wedge up here I think looks pretty cool, too. One-sided thumb stud. So there you go. What do you guys think? Which one would you pick? We got some tactical stuff. We got some really thin kind of CEO style blades. And then I got a little mini Gerber pear frame. If I was going to pick one of these, let's see. The action on this one is the best. It's the snappiest. It's the smoothest. But for practical purposes, I honestly think I would pick the pear frame. It's small, but I think I like it the best. These plastic handles I don't love. This one's a little heavy, and this one, even though it's all stainless steel, it's got all these pockets milled out, so it's pretty light. There you go. Those are my picks for 4 of the best knives on Amazon for under $10. Hope you enjoyed. Click the links below if you want to check these out. Maybe buy one. Thanks a lot. I'll see you in the next video.